You're listening to episode 368 of the Major Issues Podcast, and with Captain America Brave New World around the corner, we are tackling Jeph Loeb's 2008 Hulk run. The Major Issues Podcast starts right now. Hello, everybody out there in comic book land. My name is George Serrano, aka The Don, and if you're listening to this, you can only be here for one reason. That's a brand new episode of the Major Issues Podcast, brought to you each and every week by ComicBookClique.com. And as always, I am never alone. Sir, if you could please introduce yourself.
What up, everybody? It's John Escudero, aka Yogi.
Yogi is here. If I had a nickel for every time we sat here and covered a long form Hulk story, I'd have 2 nickels. But that's still, it's still kind of amazing that it happened twice. We are on the precipice of the latest big gamble with Marvel, Captain America, Brave New World. And the one thing they keep wagging in front of us is the big red Hulk, the old Thunderbolt Ross out there, which just made it seem like the perfect opportunity to cover the Red Hulk's debut in Marvel Comics, which was something that you were super excited to cover. This is the year that this happens, 2008, literally the first year of the MCU. I am in basic training, so I'm as far away from comics as humanly possible. But what do you remember about the hype surrounding this story and Red Hulk as this whole overarching mystery going on in Marvel Comics?
For me personally, I remember we were just coming off of Planet Hulk and then World War Hulk, and it felt like Planet Hulk and World War Hulk dealt with such heavy themes and death, and I mean more Planet Hulk than World War Hulk. World War Hulk was a lot of more sizzle than steak, but
yeah,
it was fun. It was fun. It was definitely fun, but it was over. Greg Pak's time was done, and it felt like, oh gosh, now we have to start over. It's always that feeling of like, okay, here comes the momentum swing. Now we have to start at the bottom. But it was Jeph Loeb and Ed McGuinness, so it's like, let's see what happens.
Amazing. Yeah, we just spoke to Joe Kelly not too long ago, and McGuinness doing a lot of the Deadpool stuff in this, so it was really kind of kismet that all this kind of came together this way. I was like, oh yeah, cool. Loeb, we've covered Jeph Loeb on this podcast before, several stories that he's done. He does right by these characters. He's somebody who cares about these characters. I was not aware that this was a mystery. Well, by the time I learned about this stuff, I know about who the Red Hulk is. But spoiler alert, people, in this episode, we will not get a reveal or a confirmation of who the Red Hulk is. We just kind of see him rampaging through the Marvel Universe. Does these first 12 issues hold up as you remember them?
Yeah. One thing I remember the most about this book was just how batshit crazy it was. It was like the books that came just before this were so story heavy, and this one came in, it was like right out the box. I guess if I was a more educated reader back then, I would have known what to expect because I would have read Batman, Superman, or whatever, and the way they kind of took a tour through the DC universe, but using Batman and Superman as the focal point. We're kind of here. We took the Red Hulk and we kind of toured through the Marvel Universe and just had to beat the shit out of everybody who came in front of him, and it was just awesome. It was like a cartoon, like an action movie. It wasn't. You could turn your brain off and have fun with this. This is ridiculous. This is awesome. Very fun. It still holds up. It's even more fun now.
I did find it to be an incredibly easy read. I think in terms of trying to keep it a mystery, the Red Hulk is purposely vague, like their motivations. We know it's somebody who doesn't really like Bruce, and wants to grind their axe. But we also find out how powerful this Hulk is, and if you were watching this live, he literally not punched out the Watcher. So yeah, just watching, I guess even me who sometimes we can sit up here and wax poetically about, the musings of an Alan Moore, or, the poetry inside some of our favorite stories. I had a blast just watching how this kind of unfolded. And you, like you said, right off the heels of some pretty seminal um, Hulk stories. But Hulk is personally a little bit of a blind spot for me. Did this can make you continue kind of being on that train?
Yeah, I read this all the way through. They do a big storyline called World War Hulks.
Yes.
Because I guess they were using this. I don't know if that was the reason, but knowing Jeph Loeb and like TV minded, I feel like they were just trying to give Hulk a supporting cast of characters so that we can make something of it.
This did feel very Hulk family, especially with the Rick Jones of it all.
They
Um,
eventually do. They eventually do make a television show called Hulk and the Agents of Smash, which
yes.
uses all the characters from like this run.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of like the ultimate destination. Like that's exactly what they wanted to do with this. We create like a cartoon with Hulk family characters, and then they succeeded.
Did they ever end up just straight up doing like a version of that in the comics, like a Agents of Smash?
Yes, but I don't remember if it. I don't remember if it had a name like that. I don't remember it was called like Agents of Smash. I just know that they all worked together, like as a. I don't want to say a family, but they
Yeah,
did
yeah,
all work
yeah.
together.
A very yeah. Well, we have 12 issues we're going to get through here. As we normally do when we do this, I do the play by play, a little bit of the dry sort of exposition of the issues, and we'll go around and then collect the details and talk about the things we really want to focus on. But full spoilers for the 2008 Hulk run. Again, I read it for the very first time in preparation for Captain America Brave New World, and we will be coming next week to finish up this mystery that unfolds by the time we get to issue 24 of this amazing run. But our story starts off in Russia, where Leonard Samson studies massive footprints embedded in the ground, their size matching that of the Hulk and the Abomination. He and She-Hulk reenact the battle, demonstrating how the Hulk-like creature ultimately overpowered the Abomination, leaving a nearby village in ruin. The confrontation ended with the Hulk executing the Abomination using an enormous firearm. So right off the rip, I'm like, what? Why would the Hulk need a gun? And a huge gun. A gun that fits in his hand.
I mean, right off rip, it was crazy that they killed Abomination.
Yeah.
At the time, it was like, oh shit,
It's like an
he got.
exposition. Oh, yeah, and that's how Abomination died. Like, wait a minute.
Oh shit.
That guy owes me $50.
Yeah.
Uh,
Right, straight up.
you a big
We,
fan of Doc Samson?
I like the Doctor Green, Doctor Blue stuff, but I mean, like, I don't know if I'm like a fan of Doc Samson. Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah.
he's a very fine supporting character.
Right. So yeah, basically the mystery is Abomination is dead, but they they have Bruce in custody. So they're like, who the hell could this be? All the signs point to it being the Hulk. So Iron Man, Maria Hill, and General Ross, who is with Shield, are also present, inspecting the Abomination's lifeless body. Upon closer examination of the Hulk's footprints, they discover that the sheer level of gamma radiation he emits was intense enough to scorch the earth, turning the ground into glass. As Leonard Samson suggests, exhuming the remains, the Russian superhero team, the Winter Guard, arrives. She-Hulk is taken aback, remarking that she thought Red Guardian and Darkstar were dead. Iron Man clarifies that they were, but their roles have been since filled by replacements, which is quite ironic given the nature of the character that we're talking about here. Tensions quickly rise and a battle erupts between the two sides. In the midst of the chaos, Ross stumbles upon a savior, a young girl, dazed and frightened. She mutters a single word in Russian, red. While in Alaska, Rick Jones regains consciousness, realizing that he's wearing nothing but tattered pants.
Yeah. So you're off the back. We kind of red herring Rick Jones as a possible contender for this Red Hulk. Um, I thought
They're
one.
really shitty about these red herring because I know what the Rick Jones stuff is gonna lead to, and I'm like, come on, give me something else. I know it's not this, but we're
But
currently going through this a little bit in
there would have
all.
been no way. Like there would have been no way to think that at the time. At least at that time, you would have been like, "Oh shit!" Like you'd be
Is
making
there
Rick Jones a
breadcrumb?
Hulk.
Is there breadcrumb to the A bomb stuff that I'm missing?
No, that's it. That's it right there. You know,
Wow.
Rick Jones. He's always around,
Right.
and this was just him becoming a bomb, as far as I remember.
Interesting.
What was he doing prior to this? No, because Amadeus Cho was kind of in that role
He
before that.
wasn't present during any of that World War Hulk, so was he?
I don't remember if he was. I haven't read it in a long
That's when
time.
he decided he was going to take vacation. He was like, you know what? I'm
This
out of
is
here.
bullshit. I should
Ah,
point out too, this was like during the post Civil War era before Dark Reign or whatever. So you get fucking douchebag director of Shield Iron Man here,
yeah.
who's pretty much a presence throughout the whole book. I mean, he's not really a bad guy, but at this time I hated Iron Man. I one of my first real dealings with him was Civil War, and he was like a complete dick in there. I was like, this guy's a piece of shit.
It's super interesting though, right? Because his movie comes out this year. This is published, this first issue especially in January of 2008. So just, a couple months later, he Iron Man skyrockets to an A-list superhero when that movie comes out and people become fans of him overnight.
Yeah, and then the whole world loves him, and I'm still like fucking Shield guy.
Yeah.
Uh, no, it's cool. It was interesting to see him in that place here. It brought me back. Brought me back.
So apparently in World War Hulk, Meek impales Rick through the chest, and that causes Banner to turn back into the Hulk
That's right.
after the stuff with Sentry. Um,
That's right.
and Rick can be seen loaded into the ambulance, but the very next time we see him is uh
He's fucking able.
he's just able. So elsewhere, Ross and Samson travel to a classified gamma base in Nevada. The facility's security consists solely of robotic sentries, as prolonged exposure to the area's gamma radiation is lethal to humans. Deep within the base, they finally reach their objective, a heavily fortified containment unit. Inside, Bruce Banner sits calmly in his cage, engrossed in a book. Sensing their presence, he looks up and smirks. I was wondering when you guys were finally going to ask me for help. Um, this felt like a big moment, but I'm also like, I don't know, bro. I don't know if you got what we need.
He would have been missing after World War Hulk.
Right.
I think people think he's dead.
Did they just let him go at the end of that? I can't remember.
No, no, he's got locked up. But I think people think he's dead.
Oh, okay, okay. Like because they don't know who would have
Yeah,
locked him up, who
yeah,
would have.
yeah,
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. That makes sense. Ross would have been the first motherfucker on scene, right?
yeah, yeah.
Like, he's guilty. Um, Aboard the Shield Helicarrier Gold. Da-da-da. Maria Hill, Iron Man, and She-Hulk examine the massive firearm used by the mysterious Red Hulk to execute the Abomination. As they attempt to determine how such a weapon was stolen by S.H.I.E.L.D.'s armory, their questions are violently interrupted. The Red Hulk tears through the hull of the ship and drags She-Hulk outside. This is the kind of this is when I realized what kind of comic we were dealing with right now.
Just
Because
no fucking thrills. He's just I
no, they're like there's a
crazy.
mystery here. We got to put together
Ah,
the clues, and then just two big ass red hands come crashing through your like literally through like crash right through the pacing, crash right through the story, crash right through the pages.
that's really how it feels all the way through. It's like he's just busting through all expectations, all traditional pacing, all just crashing right through all things that shouldn't happen. It's really good. It's really good.
Question, and I'm this is just me spitballing here, but what do you think the Red Hulk offers in this time that Bruce didn't or couldn't because of what the story had did with him at the time?
I think it just gives it it gives him a new like they wanted to give him like a new main villain. Like they wanted to get back to Hulk fighting a person and being a clear good guy. Like it got a little muddy. He was just fighting the heroes of Earth.
Yeah,
He was essentially the bad guy in World War Hulk, even though he wasn't, and you kind of understood what he was doing there. The idea is that he was taking it too far.
right.
Um, and so like we want to just get back to basics, and Red Hulk is like, I don't know if they were like all meta with it, like, but I think Red Hulk just represented a really basic villain for the Hulk to fight against, which is kind of like this whole run. It's kind of like just back to basic comic book superhero shit.
Yeah,
Let's go.
I can see that. I also could see that. I always think of like the Red Skull confrontation with Joker, right? Where it's like to make it a point to show how shitty Red Skull is. Even the Joker's like, well, at least I'm not a Nazi, you know. So I feel like in a sense here, it's like, well, Bruce wasn't walking around with a gun, like beheading
Right?
deer and fucking, like you know what I'm saying? Like it was like they let Red Hulk do enough dirt so that by comparison, I don't think Bruce looks that bad, you
Yeah.
know. And one of the things about this Hulk that we start to realize quickly is that he's intelligent, he can speak, and seemingly is getting off on this entire rage boner thing going on, which is again something that Bruce, I guess, unless he kind of gives into the darker parts of himself, is not really something he enjoys. This whole rampage thing. So I think, yeah, I think that he sets up a good dichotomy. Um, as the two Hulks, She-Hulk and Red Hulk, clash in midair, Iron Man immediately orders the helicarrier into lockdown. But before security measures can fully activate, She-Hulk comes crashing back through the ceiling, unconscious and battered. The Red Hulk has overpowered her with ease. Moments later, an alarm sounds. He has made his way into the helicarrier's power core. Iron Man rushes the core only to find that Clay Quartermain and General Ross have already been ambushed by the Red Hulk. Before Stark can react, the new Hulk attacks using massive piece of equipment to slam him through a tunnel. Red Hulk then leaps through a ceiling, escaping to the flight deck. Stark gives chase, but before he can engage, the Red Hulk snatches a shield fighter jet and hurls it directly at him. Now we just have full
Smashed it.
on, explosions. He's throwing planes at him. Bonker stuff.
It's odd. This is like some Michael Bay shit. Like we're literally just running around blowing shit up on top of the shield helicarrier.
Yeah. With
It's,
go ahead, brother.
no, I was gonna say, there's some interest. Like Ed McGuinness art looks a certain way, and it almost always looks a certain way. But for whatever reason, I guess whoever colored this, it made it look really different. It wasn't bad or anything, but a lot like Maria Hill looked like an anime character at some points. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
yeah.
really different from how
Right.
I see the Ed McGuinness stuff usually. But yeah.
The guy knows how to draw red. So with a devastating impact, the helicarrier systems fail, sending the massive craft into freefall. With Manhattan looming below, Iron Man has no time to waste. He remotely summons his backup armor, struggling to steer the doomed helicarrier away from the city. With immense effort, he redirects the descent towards the wilderness of New Jersey, of all places, because you could just land anything in New Jersey. Who's going to complain? Hoping to minimize the destruction. Mm,
That's such a good moment. He's
yeah, it
so
is.
desperate not to crash this ship. It costs so much.
Yes,
Oh,
it's the best one. It's helicarrier gold.
he said, "Oh, the humanity."
Yeah,
Fucking hell. Yeah, it blows up. It was not. He wasn't able to save it. But
he tried his
he's in
best.
he's in full. Like it's a whole death scene for this ship, and you're gonna clear like a full 2-page spread of him mourning the destruction of this ship.
Yeah, because like I said, he is very much. I I
Eight
kind of
billion
almost depict him
dollars.
how he was in like at the end of Civil War, or where he's just like he's not fit for this job, and he's trying to do everything that someone in his position should do, but he's not the person that should be doing it. If that makes any sense, which is why a lot of the stuff falls apart. Um, Meanwhile, in New Mexico, Rick Jones arrives on the outskirts of Gamma Base after hitchhiking through the desert. His journey is abruptly cut short when he finds himself face to face with the Red Hulk. The brute is visibly shocked to see Rick alive, but that surprise quickly turns into violence. Without hesitation, the Red Hulk smashes Rick to the ground. But this attack triggers something unexpected. Rick convulses as his body undergoes a monstrous transformation. His skin turns a deep armored blue, and his form becomes something far more menacing. Rising from the dirt, the once sidekick of the Hulk is no longer just Rick Jones. He is A-Bomb.
I love that he's really just a blue Hulk, and they were like, but we can't do that. Like,
Yeah.
just give him some scales or something.
I
Just
mean,
like
he's just supposed to be it's Abomination,
I
right?
wish
Like
he would
it's
have been. I wish he would have just been a blue Hulk.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I wish he would have just been a blue Hulk because that's what they all are. Like we got a Hulk family. We got a blue Hulk. We got a red one. We got a green one. We got a gray one out there. We got a girl one. We got a
yeah.
light green girl one. There,
Sakar,
Sakar's out
long
there.
haired one, the
They're
Rocker.
they're all just Hulk variants. It's fun.
Yeah, this felt like a new edgy Abomination. Like, not don't you call me
A
A-Bomb? You know what I'm saying?
bomb.
Yeah, you can call me A-Bomb around here. Um, I wonder how like long term. I mean, like there's got to be someone that's out there that's a long term Rick Jones fan, right? Is this
I
Mary Jane getting
mean, he
superpowers?
was he was he is everyone's sidekick for a long time, and I feel like that's gone to the wayside because the movies didn't use him. So the comics are prioritizing people who they want in movies who already are in movies, so you don't get as much Rick Jones as you used to. But back then, he was in everything all the time.
Yeah.
I imagine this was just another thing that happens to Rick Jones. This is exactly the kind of thing that happens to Rick Jones all the time because he's always in the way and always there, and
he
he's everyone's
he's
sidekick,
very much Jimmy Olsen
pretty much, but less useful.
and dies way more. I think. I
Yeah,
think
no, he definitely does.
he's one of the like what do you call those people? Um Candidates, I guess, for the all new Venom.
Get the fuck out of here,
Yeah, I
is
was
he?
like, come on. Yeah, it's Rick Jones, Madam Mask, Robbie Robertson, and Luke Cage.
These are the kind of things he does now.
Yeah.
Uh, but I guess that's how it used to be.
That's how the covers of Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen look like. Oh, I'm the Abomination now.
Jimmy
Whoops.
Olsen is a
I
lizard this week.
I got a symbiote. I'm on a murderous rampage. Shrug. So, following the Red Hulk's brutal attack, Shield's new helicarrier has crash landed deep in the wilderness of Jersey. As the dust settles, She-Hulk wastes no time. Determined to track down the Red Hulk, she takes off on her own. Meanwhile, Iron Man gets a status update from Maria Hill, learning that 3 individuals remain unaccounted for: Clay Quartermain, Doc Samson, and General Ross. Wasting no time, Stark orders Hill to locate them immediately. So this is already when I'm like, okay, we're getting all right. That's the clues I have. You know, it's got to be one of these 3, and I'm from the trailers. I'm pretty sure it's General Ross, but let's get to it. But before the search begins, Hill tells Stark that the technicians have uncovered footage he needs to see. The recording shows Doc Samson and General Ross visiting Bruce Banner in his cell at Gamma Base, ensuring that he hadn't somehow escaped. Once convinced that Banner was not the Red Hulk, Bruce offers his help in identifying the new creature, but then General Ross steps in front of the camera, speaking to Banner in hushed tones. Their conversation is too quiet to be picked up. This doesn't sit well with Stark. Frustrated, he demands to know what was said and orders Hill to find someone who can retrieve the lost audio. I thought this was hilarious. Cause I'm like, you're the tech guy, and you can't. No one can figure this out.
Yeah, he's got he because he's in that role of Shield director. There's a lot of him being the guy at the back end of the thing. What's
Yeah,
going on? Damn, we
yeah,
have to fix this.
yeah, 100%. I need audio stat, and that's what I'm saying. Like he feels out of his element in this, or at least overwhelmed. Like I feel like Nick Fury wouldn't be this frustrated in this
He would
role.
have sent an LMD. That's why.
Yeah, that's true. Why he chilled with Valentina?
Yeah, exactly. I don't have time for this.
uh, this doesn't sit well with Stark. The whole audio thing. Meanwhile, outside Gamma Base, The Red Hulk is locked in a fierce battle with A-Bomb. The two behemoths clash violently, and the fight sends the Red Hulk crashing into the base's front gate. As he stumbles against the security scanner, it briefly begins to process his identity. So I'm like, ah, and then he blows it up. He just smashes it to pieces.
Confirmed though as someone who would have access to
Yes,
this base.
yes, 100%. But it's smashed now. Their battle rages into the heart of the base, triggering the facility's automated defenses. However, the installed weaponry is no match for their raw power. The Hulk begins to overpower A-Bomb, unleashing blows so devastating that the very ground starts to crack. And he's also like talking smack this entire
There's
time.
there's very little like exposition. It's just straight up like quips and like getting from one point to another. Like he's
Yeah,
he's just straight up like quipping this whole time. Like just what I was looking for, and it comes in my size. It's
yeah,
a
yeah,
giant gun.
yeah.
Like okay, like it's a straight up action film. Like I've killed one abomination, time to make it two.
Where was it? In his pocket?
No, he ripped it all out of the ground. It was a security measure for the base, and then he was like,
Oh
"Oh
yes,
shit."
yeah, yeah, yeah. It comes up and he's like, oh yeah, guns. He's
I'm
just
more
like,
concerned
oh
as to
shit, a
how it
gun.
works when you rip it out the ground. Oh, I see it. I see it. It's got wires that are still attached.
Okay.
It's cool though. It doesn't
Um,
take down a bomb.
but yeah, he is doing his best. Mounted punches here, and it's splitting the earth. And he's also kind of talking trash about how he did the same thing to Abomination, talking about like feeling his skull crack underneath the pressure of his punches, which is again, I don't think something that Bruce ever, reveled in.
Destroyed a whole village and
Yeah.
talked about how he destroyed that village while beating fucking apocalypse abomination's ass. But
All Emil Blonsky.
blamed him for it. And I guess the whole time this was happening right on top of Bruce's prison.
Yeah. Which, so, um, the tremors cause a partial collapse of Banner's containment cell, triggering the release of sedative gas designed to keep him subdued, but the damage is already done. I didn't get this part.
Well,
Was there not enough gas? I thought the whole point was to, in case of something like this, they could gas
that
him and then he can't
that's
get
the
out.
issue. That's really the issue there. Someone who designed this prison didn't think that all the way through. You
I
can't
got
kill
you.
the Hulk. You can't kill the Hulk. You just can't.
Yeah,
That's
that's true. That's
proven.
true. Um, Even under sedation, Banner is stirred by the chaos. His body tenses up, his muscles expand, and the transformation begins. The Hulk is waking up. On the surface, the base's security systems activate a pair of robotic harpies. I
Robotic
mechanic
harpies with Becky's face. Betty with Betty's
but
face.
yeah,
Rest
I
in
don't
peace.
like. Is this?
She was dead, so they were just made to distract him
Oh,
if he ever got out.
he says that they're on purpose, Betty, to disarm Bruce because
Yeah,
all of these are precautions against Bruce. It just happened to
yeah.
be trying to do it with a different Hulk. Um, so they swoop in, attempting to remove both combatants, but the Red Hulk and A-Bomb tear them apart with ease. Just like start ripping off their talons and stuff. Standing amongst the wreckage, the Red Hulk smirks, boasting that no one can stop him, but as he turns back to continue his assault on A-Bomb, his expression shifts because standing before him, fully transformed and ready for battle, is the Green Hulk. Boom, boom, boom. And I just got these two shirtless, humongous guys like those Russian dudes doing slap boxing. Just like these two barrel chested bastards.
I knew something was going down because we got to the Hulk versus Hulk fight, and it's only issue 4.
Yeah, yeah. And something's about to go down in the Marvel universe because as the Green and Red Hulks prepare to
let,
clash, the Watcher Uatu descends to observe. Go ahead, brother.
let me talk about this for a second because
Sure.
you gotta understand. Like at this point, I'm sure anybody who knows anything about Marvel now, even the movie people, like when something important is happening, the Watcher shows up. And at this point, early in my reading, this was like a significant thing for me. Like if this held a lot of reverence, if the
Yeah.
Watcher showed up, like shit was going down. So the fact that he was here and he's doing his whole bit. I am Uatu, the Watcher. It is my sworn duty to witness the potentially critical moments of any race across the galaxy, known or unknown. And then he just, in mid fucking sentence, literally gets punched in the face and
Wow.
told to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I thought this was a bit. I thought it didn't happen. I thought because we opened the book like the last time we saw it, the Hulk was here. So like, how the fuck? Like, why is Red Hulk busy over here? But it was it's just the nature of this fucking cartoon action story that we got going on. Like, this is a real moment. This is not
It
a
totally feels like
joke,
like a Deadpool panel,
but
like or something that would have
it's
happened in an Elseworlds kind of situation.
this is canon. This is a real Marvel history moment on a timeline. That time Uatu got punched in his fucking face and told to shut the fuck up. It's not time for your bullshit. We fight.
What's funny about this stuff is that like the Hulk in and of himself, he's always been incredibly strong as his whole thing, but also like super fast. And when Red Hulk is in these rages, there's nobody that can stop him. So like he'll just be talking to you and then he'll jump 50 feet and just start beating the shit out of somebody and everyone was like wait, and then they'll go to run up to like catch up to him and he would have leaped somewhere else to go beat the shit out of somebody else. So I just love that they're always like a step behind. He's just, and because they don't know who he is, because they don't know the level of his power, obviously so much gamma radiation where you're turning the ground to glass, shows the intensity of this character, but they are also similar to Tony, way out of their depth with when it comes to all this stuff. But yeah, he the Red Hulk sees him. He watches the Watcher and he attacks. He pummels Uatu mercilessly until the Green Hulk intervenes, forcing Red Hulk to refocus on their battle. As they trade devastating blows, and again, they're just haymakering each other and talking crap. The Red Hulk declares his mission is to end the Green Hulk for good. So this is not just somebody who, got some gamma radiation, became a Hulk, and this town isn't big enough for the both of us kind of situation. We're now led to believe that the Red Hulk actually has beef with the Green Hulk prior to becoming a Hulk.
Yeah, and he kind of runs him the bill of things that he had just gotten involved in. Like, you just fucking, what do you mean you want to be left alone? Like, you just went to war with the entire planet like 3 months ago. What are you
Yeah.
talking about? I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Yeah. Yep. Um. Accusing him of ruining lives, like you were just saying, he taps into cosmic energy, growing even stronger. And with a sickening snap, he breaks the Hulk's arm. If I can remember correctly, is a Cobra Clutch or something, right?
He's got
Through the
him in
chicken
a
wing.
hammer. He's got him in a chicken wing.
Yeah, they got a
Yeah,
chicken wing.
and
Yeah,
he's
the
not.
chicken wing.
He's not even tapping. He's pulling that shit from Hulk. As far as I can remember, his energy.
Yeah.
He's absorbing that radiation.
Oh, he says that
Yeah,
that's one of his
because
things is he could
I
later
didn't
on
see
he'll
this.
end up taking the cosmic energy, but
I,
not here
I
now.
didn't see this here. Because they didn't mention until later on that he is absorbing gamma radiation. But if even without mentioning it, if you look at the panel where he grabs Hulk by his neck, he's glowing. He's got Kirby crackle coming off of him, and there's energy leaving the Hulk's body. Like, they never
Oh
told us, so
wow.
I didn't realize that's what was going on. But he's straight up absorbing this energy from the Hulk, and that's why he was able to beat on the Hulk. The Hulk just wasn't prepared. So it wasn't that he was stronger, he
Yeah.
just had a power that Bruce wasn't aware of.
That's how all our heroes feel in this. Like they all just feel like they've miscalculated. Like this is not
Yeah.
the same situation as if it was Bruce. Um, am I misremembering? Is this somewhere down the line? It doesn't happen in these 12 issues, but somewhere down the line, does he like breathe fire?
I don't think he breathes fire. I mean,
There's any
I
fire sort of because there's a lot of we end up getting a bunch of like fire stuff later. But
shit.
yeah, I was curious.
I don't remember fire. We'll get there, I guess, but it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility. Look at how flame and heat related all his other powers are.
Let me see. Yeah. So,
Yeah, even in the chicken wing, he's pulling all this energy off of Hulk. I didn't see that before. Oh shit.
so it says he has the ability to Red Hulk has shown the ability to emit extraordinary and intense heat from his mouth, which is something that the Hulk is clearly incapable of doing. Boom, boom, boom. So choking the life from his foe, he warns Hulk not to pass out. He wants to kill the Hulk, not Banner. Again, like very sadistic stuff here. Meanwhile, Iron Man and Shield search for the missing Clay Quartermain, General Ross, and Doc Samson. In a warehouse, they make a grim discovery: Quartermain's dead body and a tattered gamma-soaked jacket belonging to Doc Samson. Back in San Francisco, the Red Hulk has dragged his battered opponent to the Golden Gate Bridge. Ready to finish him, he pulls out the same gun he used on the Abomination. Again, just like whipping out this humongous barrel. But I love that he goes to fire it and Hulk just bites on the gun.
I
didn't know
love
that was
that.
an option.
I love that, and then I love this. I love that we're here. We're in the rain, and it's like drama. You know, like it's effect. You know,
Yeah.
it's he's in the rain. The Hulk bites the thing. Red Hulk is posturing, fucking lightning in the air.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't think you really don't think twice about what could like why it's raining or why
Yeah.
there's lightning. It's just
Yeah.
raining.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's a cool scene. So then to
And the
get
thing
that
is,
big reveal, that's awesome.
and you know what? This happens a million times, and I pop for it a million
Every
times. I
time.
pop for it every fucking time. I feel like I've broken down this kind of scene a bunch of times in a bunch of different stories, but summoning his last reserve of strength, the Green Hulk fights back, but the Red Hulk is still stronger, sending him hurtling into the bay below. Standing victorious, the Red Hulk smirks. He is the strongest there is. Then thunder roars. A shadow looms over him as Thor descends from the sky, Mjolnir in hand. Let us put a claim to that test, the god of thunder declares. And then I'm like, I'm
It's
down
so
for
cool.
this.
That was so cool. That was just such a great moment.
We're about to get some questions in physics in a little bit that I'm a little bit confused by, that you might be able to enlighten me by, when it comes to the Red Hulk, Mjolnir, and Thor. Because I was like, okay, someone smarter than me wrote it, but I didn't get it.
Okay.
So atop the Golden Gate Bridge, the Red Hulk stands victorious over his fallen green counterpart until Thor arrives. Momentarily stunned, Red Hulk hesitates, believing Thor to be dead. Seizing the opportunity, the Thunder God lands the first strike, but to his shock, his mightiest blow barely phases his foe.
He put Mjolnir in Hulk's face, like straight up, smashed him on the nose.
Yeah.
Doesn't
And
matter.
this guy like bleeds yellow,
He
right?
does. He does bleed yellow. It's weird. It's weird.
Does Hulk bleed green?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
It's weird.
It would have been weird if
He's
it
a
was purple.
plant. He's a vegetable.
Yeah, yeah, right. So Red Hulk retaliates, sending Thor crashing into a lighthouse and pummeling him relentlessly. Recovering, Thor swings Mjolnir again, but his opponent counters the strike, gripping the hammer. Exploding a technicality in its enchantment, since Thor is holding it, Red Hulk leaps into space, dragging the Thunder God with him. In zero gravity, the Red Hulk rips Mjolnir from Thor's grasp and turns it against him, unleashing a brutal assault. After thoroughly beating Thor, he hurls both the god and his hammer onto the moon.
That's incredible. This is just outrageous. Like these are feats. This happened. This
Yes.
happened. He
Yes.
grabbed this man and his hammer.
Yeah.
He just listen. I can't argue with this logic
That's
because
what I'm
I'm
saying.
not
Like,
like
I'm like,
he
someone was
grabbed
smarter
it
than me
and
that wrote this.
jumped, right? That's what you see. He just grabbed onto it and leaped. And
Yes.
because Thor's holding onto it, they all go together. So if Thor had let go, it would have fell back down to the ground really hard, right?
Right.
By this logic.
Because he was holding it up,
Yeah.
theoretically. But then don't they use the weird like zero G stuff to
Well, that's that because it's like a rocket. Like he used Thor to propel him into space, and
yeah.
once he's there, all you got to do is shift the momentum of the hammer and go with it, right? Because nothing can hold it down.
Right,
So
right,
he's
right.
just swinging that shit in space. It's like, well, let's go together. And then yeah, once you're in space, I guess how like what's to pull it down to the ground? Nothing.
You're
That's
right.
fucking. I was like, holy shit.
it
He's
it's a weird dichotomy, right? Because the person that's talking this level of trash, you wouldn't automatically assume that they knew this level of tactic. And so now you're being led to believe that, okay, wow, now not only is this person sadistic and rage filled and down to murder, but is intelligent, is tactful. So
his
make him a bigger
fucking
threat.
his dialogue is awesome. Like everything about this story, or at least this arc in this story, is about just what's the word for it? It's just real short, real curt. It's like real
Punchy.
punchy, right to the point, and not and completely untraditional. Like they don't want it, they wanted to take the traditions and step on them on purpose. Like
Hmm.
Thor is straight up like, to take my hammer, tis not possible unless in my father's absence. And he literally just cuts him off. Hey, you confused me with someone who gives a shit.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like that's gotta be like some form of release
He
for
almost
Jeph
doesn't. His
Loeb.
character almost doesn't abide by the rule. Now, I guess the rules is not
The rules
right,
of
but you get what I'm
comics, like
saying,
the
or at least
rules
Marvel
of these
comics, right? The
stories, right?
ones that they've established there as like again the strongest there is and all that kind of stuff. He's like, no, screw that.
He's
Like,
like, in
I
Odin's
don't get it.
name. Oh, give it a rest.
Yeah,
He just fucking beats the shit out of him with his own hammer.
yeah.
He was literally written to be like the coolest motherfucker in this story.
I feel like the only time he ever showed like a sign of like fear is when the feminists showed up to
Yeah, same.
to
He's
whip
like,
on
all
him
right,
later on. Like,
I might have taken it too far with the threesome joke.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You know,
Guys, I'm
the HR.
sorry.
He's like, no, this is out of control. Hey, I've seen red men do worse. But yeah, kicking dirt over his fallen foe because that's what kind of shit that he does. The Red Hulk leaps back to Earth, crash landing in the Monument Valley. I like when I don't know if I wrote it here, but when they're like, "Oh yeah, that thing that landed was the Hulk." By the way, that thing that crash landed to Earth was the Hulk, and he did it willingly. Like he decided to come back.
I was at this point I was kind of thinking how it was too late because he had already fought he had already fought Thor, and Thor is a
Yeah.
god, and he beat Thor, so there would have been no point. But I was just thinking, like, man, I wish they could have gotten Thing in um first before they got to Thor, just because Thing and Hulk have such a rivalry, but it
Would
didn't
this have
happen.
been post Fear itself or pre Fear itself?
Uh Pre, because Fear itself happens after Siege, and that happens after Dark Reign, and Iron Man
That's
had long
post
been
Secret.
gone from he got kicked out of the Shield way at the end of Secret Invasion
Is
when
that
Bernard
when he
Osborn
goes
takes
drunk?
over.
When he gets drunk and they frame him for being drunk? Is that the
They
one or
do
that
frame him for
disassembled?
being drunk, I think,
He
after Secret Invasion or whatever.
doesn't make it hard, I feel like, but also so like he didn't make it hard to get framed. I don't think he was working too hard there.
Back to
Uh,
the people, George. I will be right back. I'm not going anywhere.
you're good. So meanwhile, at the Baxter Building, Iron Man enlists Reed Richards to analyze the altered footage of Bruce Banner's conversation with General Ross at Gamma Base. Though the critic, though the crucial audio is muted, it hints that Doc Samson might be the Red Hulk. Before they can investigate further, a computer virus shuts down the Baxter Building's systems. Just then, Iron Man receives an urgent call from Maria Hill. The Red Hulk's impact on the Earth has destabilized the San Andreas Fault, putting San Francisco at risk of sinking into the ocean. Damn you, California. Back in California, A-Bomb pulls the Green Hulk from the waters beneath the Golden Gate Bridge. Unaware that A-Bomb is actually Rick Jones, the Hulk demands to know why he was rescued. A-Bomb warns of the crisis, but Hulk is solely focused on settling the score with Red Hulk. There's like a very sort of tunnel vision thing going on right then and there. And Abomination, even though he looks like an abomination, is quite sweet in his simpleness of constantly trying to reassure people that they're, that he's their friend and trying to take down the Red Hulk. So I think that's kind of cool for Rick. At that moment, an Avengers Quinjet arrives. Iron Man steps out, telling Hulk he won't have to be fighting alone this time. Behind him stand She-Hulk, Ares, the Human Torch, the Submariner, and the Thing ready for battle. That's a hell of a team. The only person that over here is a blind spot for me out of this whole She-Hulk, Ares, Human Torch, Submariner, the Thing is Ares.
What did you mean? Wait, what did you say about Ares?
He's my blind spot out of this all those people that were mentioned.
Oh, yeah, he was actually very frequently used in this era.
Well, I
Ares
remember
was
him
around
being
a
in
lot.
Siege. I
Well,
remember him in
everybody
Siege.
remembers.
Well,
Oh, yeah. Everybody
yeah,
remembers the
yeah,
one part.
yeah.
But before that, he was a pretty frequent character. I don't know who he belonged to, so to
I'm
speak. Like, I
assuming
don't know.
Thor.
You would think. You would think. But I want to say it's an Avengers character. Um,
Well, it
because
would.
I
What
know,
I was gonna say, this is kind of like pretty plainly obvious, but Hercules, right?
yeah, yeah. Uh,
But is Hercules
Also
tied
an
to Thor in
Avenger.
the comics?
Yeah, yeah, actually, he's tied to Hulk as well. He kind of
Oh, okay.
they took he's tied to Thor for the obvious reasons, but I mean
Right.
at this during this time,
Hmm.
Hercules had just come off of what was it? They did the Chaos War. Hercules was the main character of the Hulk book while Planet Hulk went on. So
Okay.
it wasn't called Incredible Hulk; it was called Incredible Herc.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. But yeah, he's down to help. So we got a whole little crew here. Um, After being pulled from San Francisco Bay by A-Bomb, the Green Hulk is confronted by Iron Man,
Okay.
Submariner, Human Torch, all those people that I mentioned earlier.
I love how A Bomb and Hulk interact. Because A Bomb is like, "That's my friend," and Hulk is
Yeah,
like, "Hell yeah, little buddy."
he's yeah, he's the
he
rabbits, the
didn't even
rabbits. It's like,
he didn't even think twice. He's just like, "Oh shit, you're helping me." And
yeah,
he's like, "Yeah, you're my friend." Hulk's like, "Hell yeah."
yeah,
There
yeah.
you go. That's
Like
he's
I was
my
saying, like
guy.
even in the savage nature, there's a little simpleness to A-Bomb that makes him kind of sweet because
I
he
like
just tried
him.
to.
I just want to help.
Yeah,
he's
I'm
I,
helping.
I like him.
Um, Iron Man urges Hulk to set aside their differences and help repair the damage to the San Andreas fault caused by the Red Hulk's impact. However, tensions rise when Ares provokes Hulk, nearly sparking a fight. Well, it's mostly Hulk talking shit about Ares' hat, calling it a broom or whatever the fuck, and getting him pissed off, and then they start to fight. Iron Man and the others hold Ares back, convincing Hulk to help. But when She-Hulk mentions their suspicion that Doc Samson is the Red Hulk, Hulk just leaps away to find him, forcing the team to focus on stabilizing the fault instead.
Uh, I did just love like again when you describe it as like the serious moment, but like when you get into the dialogue, it's like their argument is fucking
Yes,
ridiculous.
it is.
Hulk is literally like Broomhead needs to shut up, and
Yeah,
Ares is like, no one calls me Broomhead and lives to speak of it. He's a god, bro. What are
yeah.
you talking about? Of
And he just
course.
looks at him right in the eye and goes, "Broom head," just to spark shit. And also, this is the person that I'm being led to believe is the voice of reason. Like this is the person I'm rooting for to stop the Red Hulk, and he's just
Yeah.
causing shit to cause shit. I'm like, oh, he's not. But I love like the Doc Samson hint gets mentioned, and he just jumps. He just like, I'll see y'all later. I'm gonna go figure out this whole thing on my own. Meanwhile, in Monument Valley, the Red Hulk emerges from the crater his impact created, marveling at his own power. He fought Thor, leaped from the moon, and survived. But as he climbs out, Green Hulk ambushes him, ready to settle their fight once and for all. As they battle, Red Hulk starts gaining the upper hand until Thor returns, hurling Mjolnir in his face. Recovering, Hulk sees that A-Bomb has followed him. A-Bomb warns that Red Hulk gets hotter and hotter the angrier he gets. His feet are already turning sand into glass. Still, Hulk shoves Thor aside to finish the fight himself. Thor, recognizing the Hulk's need to win on his own, steps back. Does he like? Does he like say it like in a very poetic way, or whatever? Like the beast,
No, he doesn't.
whatever.
He doesn't fucking get it at all. Actually, he's pissed off. He's
Oh,
like,
man.
Thor thinks he's gonna kill Hulk, Red Hulk, and then Green Hulk comes and takes the fucking whole
Yeah,
battle away from
the
him.
whole
And
fight.
Thor's like, "You motherfucker! How dare you steal the final blow from me?" and it's A-Bomb that has to calm him down, but like in his childish way. What did he say? Uh, I forgot what he said to Thor, but Thor's like, though you speak as a child, you have the knowledge of a man. We
Yeah,
have an
yeah,
understanding. It's just such a funny ass moment between Thor. He's essentially as dumb as A Bomb.
yeah.
He just speaks with Shakespearean fucking
He went to a
tones.
couple of classes. A bomb's homeschooled. That's basically what it comes down to. Um, yeah. So, as the battle rages, Red Hulk overheats and weakens. Sensing the moment, Green Hulk finally takes him down. Victorious, he roars that he is the one true Hulk. Thor, recalling Hulk's past war against Earth, now sees him in a different light. Recognizing his struggle, Thor extends his hand in friendship. The Hulk, surprisingly moved, accepts. So, like, this was interesting to me because I was like, "This is the first time this has happened? Is this like
You
very?"
know, I thought the same thing, and I said to myself, it's Marvel. I'm sure that this has happened. I'm
Yeah.
sure like they've acknowledged each other as friends in the past, but I'll take this moment.
Well, Thor is also he's on his own tour post Civil
Yeah,
War, right? Because
well,
been gone as
yeah,
well, and
yeah.
his
I guess
body's
this is
been
like,
used
yeah.
negatively
I
from
guess
one
it's
side.
a new Thor, okay? Because it's a
Oh,
new
post
body
Ragnarok, right?
post Ragnarok. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The cycle
I do love the
continues.
insistence from the Hulks that they are not the other person. It's
Yeah,
over. Like, why is he calling me Rick?
yeah.
Like, what's wrong?
Not even Dick Grayson wanted to be called Rick.
That was cool. That was a cool moment, though.
Yeah,
Rick just like Hulk's still A Bomb's friend, and he's like, "Yes, Rick will always be Hulk's friend."
yes.
And it's like he always knew. Like he knew from the
Sadly, he might as well have petted him in the moment. Like it's very much like that'll do, Rick. That'll
well,
do.
Rick is intrinsically tied to Hulk of all people, even though he's
I'm
Marvel's
actually surprised
sidekick.
we've gone this far without doing him in live action.
How did they not? Like who? So who did the Hulk jump in to save in
It's
the
all
movies?
montage. Remember?
Oh God, that's
There's
right.
no
That's
like
right.
actual scene of it. It's all done already. Even in the other one, it was all that stuff in the beginning. And no, they just like sat him in a chair and they shot a. Remember, there was a green crosshair on his forehead, and then that's what makes you the Hulk. So realizing A Bomb is Rick Jones, Hulk assures him that they will always be friends. Hearing his real name, Rick starts to respond, but suddenly he is shot in the back by Doc Samson.
I want to
Standing,
know, how did Rick know? Well, how did Rick is screaming at Hulk? Hulk, Red Hulk is, and then he shoots him. How the fuck did Rick know?
so I don't because I don't know how the reveal of this happens. I'm not sure, but I know that in rereading this, um, Red Hulk is seemingly surprised that Rick Jones is alive. So there's some sort of weird. I don't know if they've gotten their powers together. I don't know if Red Hulk is aware of how A Bomb. I don't know how A Bomb got his powers.
I think he was probably referring to him getting stabbed by Meek.
Oh, that could have been it too. Oh, Meek. I think of Watiti's Meek, and I'm like, that he would never stab somebody to death. I don't think he would, or she would. I can't remember how they settled that gender thing.
Well, I mean, to be fair, that's how you thought of Meek, yeah, the regular Meek when it happened. It
Oh
was like,
yeah, 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 yeah,
no,
yeah.
not
He's
Meek.
supposed to be the homie. He was supposed
I
to be the
almost
homie.
feel, in some ways, it feels like World War Hulk kind of takes a shit on Planet Hulk, but it's like it's ran by the same guy. Like, what are we doing here? I gotta go back to read these two back to back as an older, more mature comic reader now and see if I feel the same way. Because I know I love Planet Hulk, but I remember being a bit underwhelmed by World War Hulk. It was like a bit
Yeah.
more eventy, like a bit
Yes.
more of a product than
Yeah,
Planet Hulk.
I think you sit with Planet Hulk more, right? What I will like where my mind is going with what you're saying, it's kind of like what they say happens in a lot of comic book, like it gets tropey with comic book and comic book villains. Is like a comic book villain will make a lot of sense, and then once they realize that they might be making up too much sense, then they'll be like, and now we're gonna poison all the babies, you know? And it's like, well, yeah, now you've had to do that. You've had to do something extreme to make it clear that this person is a bad person, because everything else I was saying before was pretty on the nose. I wonder if any of that stuff was the stuff like people kind of siding with Hulk and being like, "Oh, he
Definitely.
should totally come through and kill all these people," and then they have to go be like, "Oh, well, actually, it wasn't. It's not just him being a warmonger. He was actually duped, and he was actually,
They
these
fucked him
guys are the
over, you
bad
know?
guys. These guys are the bad guys. Um,
The
which I
Ming
mean,
thing
a
was
Hulk,
such a cop out.
yeah, I would say a Hulk reckoning is fine as on the face of it. My man's got a lot of shit to be mad about. It's kind of his thing. Um, Standing over him, Samson coldly states that Rick can't be allowed to expose the truth. He and General Ross then confront Red Hulk, disappointed in his failure to kill Hulk.
George, where the fuck did Samson get his hair from?
I don't know.
He was just a Caesar guy.
Well, he had. Did he not
He
have the
didn't
hair?
have a
No, he
ponytail or
did it when it
anything.
started. It didn't start when
He
he
had a
started,
short
right?
haircut.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I remember not knowing who he was, and then when they said who he was, I was like, I remember that guy having very long green hair.
No, sir.
You're
I get
right.
well. Does he transform? Doesn't he transform? Maybe I forgot a part of his
I
thing.
think if he did, it would just be like a stronger, like a Fabio kind of, like a stronger, longer hair
I'm
gentleman.
sexy now.
Yes, yes. My greatest weakness. Oh, um, but this is where I get confused, and I do not say this so that you can, spoil it. But it's like, all right, Doc Samson stands over him, and I'm like, okay, well, I know Rick Jones ain't the Red Hulk, and I don't think Doc Samson is the Red Hulk. Why the hell is Thunderbolt Ross here? I thought he was the Red Hulk. This is them kind of muddying the waters for anyone who was suspicious.
I would say that um if you once you know, then you can see what it is pretty easily. I think if I
You talking
said a
about like
couple.
you talking about like on a reread?
Yeah, like right now I know. Like right now I know exactly what's going on. Like because I know what
What
eventually the reveal is.
What's interesting is that I got some of the synopsis for issue 1 online, and I just realized that it had General Ross in quotes. So I'm just gonna leave that where that is, and we'll get there when we're supposed to get there. But declaring that he's on his own now, they abandon Hulk. I mean, moments later, Red Hulk suddenly opens his eyes. This is also the confusing part about it, because seemingly these people are in like down with him, means to an end. They want to use him to beat up regular Hulk, and then they fire him. I don't know why they thought that would be a good idea. Um, they Another thing is, in the middle of this, at least in my collected version of this story, we kind of go off a bit on what's I think is King Size Hulk #1, and that's a very, very, very short story about Red Hulk just causing a menace with the Wendigos. So he goes and he like one tries to attack him. He like viciously slaughters him and like leaves his head as like a taunting mechanism for the rest of them. And apparently there are a bunch of these Wendigos, so they are now out for revenge, and they are all over Canada causing ruckus.
I needed to read. There's that, and then there's another book in between 12 and 13.
Is that
What's in between
the?
12 and 13?
I think that's the Abomination files.
Special? Oh, because something big happens in it, and when 13 starts, it already happened. And I'm like, oh
Um,
fuck.
I gotta double check, because I know that's one of them. Is like there's just an issue just talking about the Abomination, just like breaking down how he lived, how he died, talking about at one point that the Hulk was miniature and was acting as Abomination's conscious. So comics, right? Um, but uh, yeah, he goes to Canada to investigate where the Red Hawk fought a pack of Wendigo. I've been saying Wendigos. Look at me, I'm such a noob. It's a pack of Wendigo. Finding no trace of them, he assumes they're hunting Red Hulk for revenge. Following the trail, Bruce Banner arrives in Las Vegas, where he encounters
Oh,
a mob of panic, gore-covered people fleeing Cersei's Mystic Isle Casino.
We got to talk about this for a second. So up until this point, up until issue 6 of this run, we had been
Hmm.
Jeph Loeb and Ed McGuinness, and at this
Yes.
point, we shift. We shift in a way that I enjoy so much. We literally moved to two cheesecake artists,
Yep.
and two of the best. Like it was like, when did this become a titty and butt and ass book? And it was
Yeah.
like, and
There was a
then
lot of that going on.
so no, first I wasn't, I didn't realize who the artist was, but I realized a shift, and I was like, oh, I really like this actually. And then I can't remember what panel, but somebody was like needlessly getting undressed, and I was like, I recognize these curves. Like, wait, and I go back and I look at the cover. I'm like, it's fucking Art Adams. Art Adams is at this point. I mean, he's old now, and he's still fucking going, and he's
Vivacious.
still gorgeous. I'm trying to see how old he would have been at this time. He definitely would have been an old man. Maybe not that old. Think of
No,
man,
artist 61
60,
now.
61 now. So he like 40 probably back then.
Yeah, yeah,
Something.
yeah.
He fucking awesome, man. His art is gorgeous. I love it. His faces too. Obviously, the faces are like really cute. I don't know how to explain it. It's not like an anime cute. It's definitely got his own distinct, like a pretty girl face that it only Art Adams could draw. And I noticed it here. I was like, oh shit. And then of course Frank Cho does the backup the backup story with all the girls,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's just so funny because why did we decide to do cheesecake
I
out of
wonder.
nowhere?
Yeah, I wonder which one was it. Which happened first? That the fact that they knew they were gonna have women, and then they picked these guys, or the fact that they picked these guys, and they're like, "Hey, we can throw some
Yeah,
women in this. Can we throw some girls
I
in
think
this?"
that's what it was. Like I think we were like having fun, and like Jeph was like, I think I want to do some stuff with girls, and then let's get all of the girl artists that we can. Because even one of the variant covers is, I'm looking at it right now. It's Michael Turner drawing a Hulk. Michael Turner is known for like drawing sexy women. When
Right.
like for whatever reason he's doing this variant cover for Hulk that has Arthur Adams or Frank Cho on it. It's the craziest shit that happens randomly in the middle of this story.
Yeah.
Uh, Funny as hell. I love it though. I
This is like the most. Yeah. Now
love
we're like in
this.
full Spike TV territory, right? Like this
Yeah,
is
yeah, for no reason.
like for like hard fighting, women, blood. It's gotten crazy. Um, Rushing inside the casino, Banner sees the Wendigo attacking civilians. Fighting his transformation, he loses control when a woman is dragged away. But instead of becoming the Green Hulk, he transforms into Joe Fixit.
Let's go. I fucking love Joe.
Um,
He's so
I love Joe too, but my thing is, isn't it like well known that he's not as strong?
yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
what I was worried about in this instance. I'm like,
He
it's
gonna
like,
get his ass beat.
yeah, it's like somebody like fumbling around their gun belt and pulling out a knife.
I like to think of
I was
it.
like, what's going on here?
I like to think of it as a person that goes to Las Vegas and kind of the wrong side of them comes out. Like, man,
Yeah, yeah,
every
yeah.
time I'm here, man, every fucking
Yeah,
time I'm here, man.
that's
Damn it.
funny. Yeah, that is. I just can't. I just can't stop being Joe. This is Gator. What is it? What's that movie?
What
God.
movie's that?
Um, the other guys, Will
I I
Ferrell
I don't
and
think I got to see that.
Mark Wahlberg, and the whole film. Mark Wahlberg is bullying Will Ferrell for being effeminate, for being an office cop, for all that stuff. And it turns out that Will Ferrell is this way because at one point he became a pimp and had a stable of hoes. And he was a guy named Gator. And he used to always say, Gator don't play no shit. Gator's never been about playing no shit. And so like that comes out of him at the dinner table to his wife because he's talking about like hardships at work and shit. And she's like, you don't bring him here, all right? You don't bring him to this table.
That's Joe Fixit.
That's Joe Fixit.
I could actually see Joe Fixit as a pimp. Like if someone had to write a story, like there
Oh
were
my
3 months in
god.
Joe Fixit's time where he was a
Yeah.
pimp. I love
He'd
the
be,
way
and he would be like, these ladies do whatever they want. You know
I
what I'm
in my
saying? That's what you say.
in my head he's got a New York accent, even though he's in Las Vegas.
Yeah,
I also love the way art draws him here. Like he's got like a big obnoxious chin. He
yeah,
looks like a troll face, like a dick.
yeah,
I
yeah.
I I really like this.
So he's thrilled to be here, and ends up sending a Wendigo flying out of the casino before being swarmed by the rest of the pack. As he fights them off, crescent-shaped weapons strike his back. Turning, he sees Moon Knight, who orders him to leave.
I was wondering who that guy. There was a guy that they focused on for the first page. It's like, Steven, please, you think you
Yeah,
need to be involved here? And I was like, who the fuck is this? It's fucking Moon Knight, though. I did not expect.
I actually liked him in this. I thought
Yeah, no,
he
for sure.
very well. I was like, oh, like I was really wondering if he was going to be one of the many hapless, heroes that have shown up into this adventure and like had nothing to do. But like he's very much understands what the situation is, and it's like, yo, come on, we need to get on the same page. Uh, so the Moon Knight, look at that face. The hero temporarily blinds him, but Fix It quickly recovers and knocks Moon Knight out cold. Before Fix It can continue to beat down, Miss Marvel and the Sentry arrive, commanding
Uh,
him to stand down.
this is when I knew. This is when
When
I
Miss
had
Marvel
to
showed up,
yeah, and it's not this one, it's the next one where like they should draw her from the back, and I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I
I
gotta
recognize this. That's funny.
good stuff.
Um, I really feel bad for Carol during this. Like, this is like the very last. All the stuff leading up to here is when they're gonna reboot her because they don't know where to put
Yeah.
her and they don't really know what to do with her at this time. She joins the Avengers for a bit, right? But it's the wrong Avengers. Is the Narc Avengers. So it's like I feel like I try to read all this stuff. This like shortly before this was the Warbird stuff. She was dealing with alcoholism at one time. I just like now when I see her, I'm like, damn, Carol.
I liked her as a supporting character, like back in these days. I
Yeah.
liked when Miss Marvel used to just show up and help out. She wasn't anything crazy to me. I'm sure that she's a lot more useful now. I'm not saying I miss her that way. I'm just saying I didn't hate like I wasn't one of the people that hated uh Miss Marvel when she was just kind of eye candy.
Oh yeah,
It
yeah, yeah.
sucks.
I think
It sucks.
she's still a powerful character.
She's a lot better now. She's a lot better for herself. I mean, she's
Yeah.
got a lot more prominence. She doesn't have to deal with any of the cheesecake stuff. She's
It's
got
also weird because like those who are reading her now have no sense of Marvel. You know?
that really makes me sad.
So it's
Uh
like either you reinstate that importance, similar to the Rick Jones of it all, right? Like somebody'd be like, I've been watching Hulk movies for 30 years and I've never who the fuck is Rick Jones, you know? And it's like, well, they've did a disservice by not, doing that. And I feel like similarly, a lot of people jump to conclusions because I think it's mostly the outfit that makes her seem like she's not like doing anything. But I read this whole around this time. I read all her books. I forgot, probably in preparation for the Captain Marvel film, but there was a lot of interesting stuff going on with the Avengers post Civil War. A lot of stuff going on with
Initiative.
her. Yeah, with the initiative. And she was right there at the forefront of all that kind of stuff. So it was cool to see her here.
I also want to point out that as much as I talk about Art Adams and his cheesecake stuff, it's not like it's he draws men very, very, very masculine too. Like this is just the exaggeration on both ends of the stick. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like the men are all like
it's not all male
super.
gaze, is what you're saying.
You know, like yeah, it's all like everybody gets exaggerated. They're all their proportions are made to look that way. Um, art comes from a different time than say like Frank Cho, who's in this the backup, and he's known for his
Oh,
weak
I
gait.
bet he's in the backup, bro. I bet he's backing something up
I
over
knew I
there.
knew immediately with Frank Cho though. There's a fucking the first 2 page spread where Valkyrie shows up. She Hulk's ass cheeks are prominent on
Yeah.
that page. I was like, oh shit, who
I
drew
remember
this?
thinking, I'm like, look at that
Frank Cho.
onesie. Look at that onesie. I'm like, what is that for?
Mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
think at one point she gets like almost like a Lita thong
They
sort of.
someone else had her. Ed McGuinness had her in pants, and Frank Cho took
Okay,
him off.
okay,
Frank Cho
okay.
took him off. He has
Right.
her in the onesie all the way, like just ass out. It's like,
Ridiculous.
why? It doesn't matter,
Ridiculous.
bro. I love him.
Vegas,
He's
baby. So during this whole brawl, Moon Knight ambushes Fix It, only to be knocked out before Fix It can continue. Miss Marvel and Sentry arrive. He hurls Moon Knight skyward, forcing the Sentry to catch him. But Miss Marvel smashes Fix It into a neon sign,
oh
plunging the
shit.
area into darkness.
I forgot you have a trade paperback, so yours probably collected it differently. Now I have
What
to.
what what came up next for you?
Yeah, because Sentry and Miss Marvel come, and then we go to the backup, and then She Hulk is recruiting. So it kind of reads as
Oh,
it reads
yeah, yeah,
as
yeah,
a B plot
yeah.
to the main story, because I guess they're both only 11 pages long.
This is when she's calling everybody and they're not
Yeah,
answering the
she's
phones.
pulling the girls and nobody's picking up.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
that Carol's always busy. That's the line I like later on that they're talking about. Like, yeah, yeah, Carol's always busy.
Yes, I
But
guess for you, first will be the Hulk in Vegas and then the girls.
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay,
We're
cool,
gonna
cool, cool.
finish up the we're gonna finish
Yep,
up
yep.
Hulk in Vegas. But what I found interesting here is that like ever since World War Hulk, and I think yeah, ever since World War Hulk and his solo thing, and then also Dark Avengers, like I treat Sentry like he's an alligator in my living room. Like
He's scary.
not to look at him, not raise my voice. And Moon Knight's like, screw you, bro. Like Moon Knight's just talking shit, and he's like, because she goes up to, essentially flies up to go catch him. He's like, you idiot! Like, no, I don't need any of that. He like throws some like sparklers in his face, and
See,
he goes back to it, and I'm like, damn.
I like that he was. I like that Moon Knight is kind of concerned and aware of how the Hulk works. And he's like, "You fucking idiots! Like
Yeah,
I had this. You
yeah,
came and you messed this all up. We're gonna have to fight him now." Like,
yeah, yeah. He's the least super strength of everyone involved. So the idea that he had
and
his
even
head on right.
I was gonna say even and I guess because he's also a fucking multi-personality person, they
Mm.
both can speak to each other this way. They both
Yeah,
understand
yeah.
because Sentry's got Rob or in the Void or
Yeah,
whatever.
like
Bob.
yeah, everyone in here is messed up, bro. Warbird and fucking there's a lot of DID going
Th-
on around here.
this panel specifically, this one right here. If you look at Miss Marvel in this panel where they're looking down at the Hulk with Moon Knight in his hands, is where I said,
She's
"Well, hold
cheeked
on
up.
a second, because there's a whole ass titty nipple." And I
Yeah.
was like, "Wait,
I think I saw that too. I'm like, how is that? Damn,
why
that
she
thing's
got
on
so?"
tight.
I said, "Why she got so much flesh?"
Yeah,
It's like,
flesh.
why? It's so squishy. Like
Yeah.
somebody drew this. Yeah, I don't know. Good time, man. Listen, mid 2000s comics.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
You
Uh,
selling them. You selling them like little adrenaline hopped up boys.
and these are like I said, even though they're exaggerated, they're mostly human
They're mostly
proportions.
human proportion. And I mean, if you look at Sentry too, like look at Sentry, like no man looks like that. Hey, yo, is that a dick? What is that? What is that? Is that a penis?
Where? Out of
I
Sentry? On Sentry's gear?
on Sentry's leg, he's got a
Oh
third leg.
no.
He's
What?
got a third leg, and that might be a muscle that got drawn too tightly, but
Yeah.
it's straight up a dick.
That might be the real void this entire time.
He's like, listen, they got me flying around with Ms. Marvel over here. She's dressed in this shit. It's
Thor is not the only
hard.
one that
I'm
travels
wearing
with a hammer.
tights. I'm wearing
Yeah.
tights. What do you
Ridiculous.
want from me? Men get 15 of those a day for no reason. You
Don't
can't
you?
blame
She's
yourself.
double cheeked up in Vegas, bro. There's a lot of this stuff going on right now. Um, by the time he lands, Hulk has Miss Marvel in his grip. Moon Knight shoves sonic disruptors into Hulk's ears, causing excruciating pain, forcing Hulk to attempt an escape, only for Sentry to slam him down into a hotel. The impact damages the tower and its rides, putting civilians at risk. As Miss Marvel and Sentry rush to stabilize the structure, Moon Knight reminds them of the real problem. The Wendigo are still rampaging through the city. Seeing the innocent lives in danger, Hulk decides he's not ready to leave just yet.
I also kind of forgot he can go between personalities the way he did here. I was like, oh shit, that's right. I thought he was stuck as Fix It for some reason.
Yeah.
Uh, he got punched in his face and he was like, all right, fuck you then, bitch. I'm green now. Oh shit. Run.
I no, yeah, I love that. Um, with a pack of Wendigo rampaging through Las Vegas, Hulk, Miss Marvel, Moon Knight, and Sentry agree to stop fighting and focus on stopping the creatures. From atop of the hotel, Hulk lays out his plan: smash the Wendigo. Pretty simple. He leaps into the fray, but the creatures swarm him instantly. Meanwhile, Miss Marvel and Sentry struggle to keep the crumbling tower from collapsing, leaving Moon Knight to fight alone. His crescent darts barely phase the Wendigo, and the streets suddenly give way, plunging the creatures and the Hulk into the sewers. When the dust settles, the heroes are horrified to see that Hulk has been transformed into a Wendigo himself. Miss Marvel and Sentry attack, but the monstrous Winda Hulk is too strong. Just as the battle seems lost, Brother Voodoo shows up out of nowhere, sensing dark forces at work. He casts a powerful spell, triggering a sudden
Shit.
flash blizzard. Go ahead, brother.
I was gonna say I wanted to uh I feel like we really glossed over the Windy Hulk of it all.
Yes, go
that's
ahead.
kind of
That's,
because
that's fine.
that's kind of crazy. Like
It is.
that's insane.
And they're
I didn't
all
even
sort
know.
of transformed people, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah, but I didn't know that could happen. I didn't know. I don't know if this has happened before because this is insane.
Yeah.
Uh,
When did you remember first reading about the Wendigo? That's what the whole Wolverine thing, right?
Before I read about the Wendigo, I saw him in that Hulk versus Wolverine cartoon. Right? Wasn't he in that shit?
That well, I think he's in that general Hulk versus like their first meeting in general.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Um,
The reason they're out there.
Interesting. Oh wait, hold on. Um, yeah, Hulk to go.
Yeah, Wendy Hulk.
Wendy Hulk. Um, yeah, but what do you
Also,
think about this random Brother Voodoo? Wild Brother Voodoo
well,
appears.
she called him. And again, this is another panel where let me take a screenshot and make it my profile picture because this is she goes over Miss Carol, Miss Marvel goes over to the side and she makes a phone call and she calls Shield and she's like, yeah, we got more than one Wendigos and don't laugh, but we have a Wendy Hulk. And she's like, I told you
Ah,
not
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah,
laugh.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But the image I thought here we go. Let me change it. Fuck for the people who are watching the video eventually, whenever you do.
Gang, gang.
Bam. Zoom
Because
that out a little bit.
this is one of those things where he shows up and I'm like,
Yeah,
I
it's not
don't
gonna.
know what he's doing. Oh
It's
yeah,
not. It's,
look at that.
it's not. You can't get the whole image. You're never gonna get the. You're never gonna get the effect.
I
But it
mean,
was
there's a
funny as
lot.
hell.
There's a lot of. I mean, I see the nipple.
Well, no, there was. It's the whole. It's the whole thing. It's the whole thing. But
Yeah,
yeah, good shit. This is the perfect person to have to draw something like a Wendy Hulk because Art Adams is a lot of lines, and a Wendy Hulk is really hairy. So you get this that page, that first page reveal of him with Moon Knight in front of him like that. That's a poster. Like that's art. That's 1950s EC horror cover shit
yeah,
right there.
yeah. I do love the horrifying nature in which they draw the Wendigos, and they're almost always drenched in blood. So it's on purpose with they're all white. You
Because they
know.
definitely ate people.
Oh, totally. And but I mean, they made me feel sorry for one when oh boy their head off, the Red Hulk. But yeah, when the snow clears, all those affected, including Bruce Banner, return to human form after Voodoo does his voodoo. As the dazed, naked, and sickened former Wendigo struggle to comprehend what happens, the heroes rush to help them. In the chaos, Bruce Banner quietly slips away.
Yeah, that was funny. All
Like,
those
I'll just get out of here.
naked old people
Yeah.
vomiting because they all have people in their systems now.
Yes.
Nasty.
Entrails. Um. So then we get into the Lady Liberator storyline, where determined to bring down Red Hulk, She-Hulk, Thunder, and Valkyrie reformed the Lady Liberators to track him to Mount Rushmore. Despite their combined strength, Red Hulk proved to be too powerful for the trio. There's a lot of self-doubt in Jennifer, uh,
Jennifer.
in this scene. Um, Did that read to you?
Yeah, she got her ass beat in the beginning, which kind of sent her down this road of thinking about how strong she actually is. Um, and it's not like she proves herself any in this. In
Oh
this,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
she
If this
just
was supposed to be a confidence boost, I
she
don't
kind
think it
of
worked.
failed.
Yeah. Reinforcements arrive in the form of Invisible Woman, Tigra, Storm, Spider Woman, Hellcat, and Black Widow. Yet undaunted, Red Hulk charged headfirst into battle, effortlessly overpowering these heroines one by one. Frustrated, She Hulk threw herself at him alone. Unlike before, her horrendous attacks managed to stagger him. While he was disoriented, Invisible Woman trapped his head into a force field, cutting off his air supply, but then she opens up like a pin-sized hole into it that Storm then just directs lightning into. It was a metal-ass moment. Probably should have killed him. I want to see more people being dissected like this. But he ends up unconscious. So the Liberators bind Red Hulk in chains, wait for him to revert to his human form. As the night drags on, most of the team leave, leaving only She-Hulk, Valkyrie, Thundra, Storm, and Spider-Woman. During this time, Storm theorized that his transformation might not be triggered by emotions like the original Hulk. Just then, Red Hulk breaks free, revealing that he had been playing possum. He grabs Thundra and leaps away, escaping before She-Hulk could stop him. To their shock, he wanted to recruit her. Red Hulk explains that Thundra was the only one willing to kill him, an edge he needed for his future plans. Later, as the Liberators repaired Mount Rushmore, She-Hulk received a call from Thundra. Though she assures him that she was safe, Red Hulk had gotten away. She-Hulk, unfazed, simply vowed, "We'll get him next time." But whole girl's like totally on the team.
Yeah, she's joined Red Hulk, who's a full-on misogynist in this story, in
Yes.
this little arc right here. He wanted to fuck. He was like, "Hey, listen, I'll kill her right now." I was like,
Yeah.
"Wait, oh shit, hold on, sir, relax."
I didn't like him getting jumped. I always like people getting jumped in comics. Like I don't know why.
Yeah, yeah. No, he got what he deserved here. They beat the shit out of him, even though he was playing possum when they tied him up. It
He
was
was
funny
not
as
playing
hell.
fair with that chain.
No, not at all.
He was wilding out. Um, but yeah, like once Sue started to work, I'm like, okay, so they respect Sue. Sometimes I look sideways. I'm like, if Sue's not doing nothing, then yeah, I don't care because she could do everything. So it's
She
good
could
to
have done
see
it
her
on
doing.
her own.
Yeah,
She's
yeah. Pop a brain vessel
That was cool though. She put a bubble around his head and then had Storm shoot a lightning bolt into the bubble. So the
in a
lightning
pin sized hole into the bubble.
it like went in his mouth.
Yeah.
Like that's awesome.
And then they just change his ass up, and maybe they should have listened to Thunder, who wanted to cut his head off the entire
And
time.
this service is two entirely different sides of the fan base here. You got like the full female team, the Liberators taking down this misogynist Red Hulk. They beat the shit out of him and all that. And on the
Mm.
other side of the spectrum, it's all drawn by Frank Cho. So there's nothing but like just jiggly fat asses and just fucking cheesecake women everywhere you can see. But they're being treated very well as characters. Like they're beating the shit out of the Red Hulk, and I'd argue they've done the most damage to the Red Hulk of
Yeah,
anybody that we've seen up until now. Like they beat
100%.
the shit out of him. He beat up Thor. Okay, like this guy beat up Thor,
This was
and
the
all the
closest to him being captured, killed, all that stuff.
it's crazy the way those two things come together. Like, do you think? Like, I wonder who liked this more. Like, the other than that real strong feminist side of the fan base enjoy this?
I mean, ultimately
Uh,
they don't win, right? So what is the overall
and then in
story
the other, and then
there?
in the, in
And
the
they
other,
turn one. So what is the overall arc there with
yeah, but like at that point, nobody wins. Right? Everybody's getting treated equally. Like Thor didn't win, Iron Man didn't win,
yeah, that's
Hulk
true.
didn't win.
Well, Iron Man stopped fighting. He's like, yeah, I handled it.
He just left.
He's like, hey, World War Hulk wasn't that far, wasn't that long ago. He got his ass whooped in World War Hulk.
I
He ain't
don't
forgetting
like
that
you
shit.
anyway.
Yeah, he don't forget that shit. Now we are just basically in a fun little 3-issue Defenders arc.
Yeah, little contest of champions type
Little
deal.
little contest of champions. This is kind of scatterbrained, so I collected this the best way, or I, made my synopsis the best way I can. But dreaming of his lost love, Jorella, Hulk finds bliss until a massive hand rips her away, putting him awake in Monument Valley. Before him stands the Collector, offering to resurrect Jorella if Hulk competes in a
Uh,
cosmic contest.
Grandmaster.
Grandmaster, sorry. Hulk agrees and selects Silver Surfer, Submariner, and Doctor Strange for his team, but the Grandmaster manipulates time, plucking them from moments of great personal loss to make them more vulnerable. For instance, Silver Surfer is taken just before becoming Galactus' herald. Hulk persuades him to join with the promise of reuniting with Shalabah. Shalabah.
Shalabal.
Am I saying that right?
I
Sounds like
think
something
so.
you exclaim when someone sneezes.
Talaba.
Uh, Galactus allows it, but warns that he will consume Zenla if the Surfer doesn't return. I love that part about it. He's like, "Hey, I got a shit to do, so like whatever y'all doing,
He,
bring him back." 'Cause
I like that he knew what was going on. He was like, fuck it, this is bullshit. There's like gods doing something. And
that can
Surfer's
sense
like,
higher beings.
you
Yeah,
answer to them? He's like, I don't really want the trouble.
and
Like,
he basically like you tell those higher beings,
yeah.
I need my herald at the end of the day, so like go run your errands, but your ass better come back. Submariner is recruited right after Dorma's murder. That I did not know was a thing. Grief stricken, he attacks but relents when he's told he could bring Dorma back. Are you aware who Dorma is?
No, but also I don't think I was reading back then. And I don't know enough about Namor's full history.
Fair. Doctor Strange is found battling the mindless ones moments after Clea vanishes into a sealed portal. With a chance to save her, he agrees to join. Now, again, I am still, with so many books in and so many different episodes of podcasts, I still haven't read every comic ever. And I'm aware that this team is the Defenders. But in this moment, I'm like, is this how they got together? Like they
No.
all lost their girlfriends and then they were like, you know what, bros? It's time to team up. I'm like, this doesn't seem like this is how this would happen.
This is a whole different weird timey-wimey defenders. This is cool. It's just a fun thing, little thing here.
It really is. I find that every time a writer takes on the Hulk, they kind of want to homage the various eras of his. That's what going back to Joe Fixit was, right? And this is just another example of that, in my opinion. Back in present day Monument Valley, the Grandmaster reveals their opponents: the Collector's team, Red Hulk, Tiger Shark, Baron Mordo, and Terrax. Boasting their inevitable victory, Red Hulk names them the Offenders.
He was having just as much fun as we are. He's like,
Yeah.
we're gonna be the offenders. Let's get them, boys.
What wasn't Offenders? Isn't that what they were gonna call the like Modoc, Howard the Duck? They were gonna all those Hulu shows. Remember
that
the Tigra and somebody was
that
supposed
was
to be
gonna
show?
happen.
Yeah. Remember they canceled the Tigra show?
I know that. I didn't know they were supposed to come together.
Hit Monkey. Yeah, they were all supposed to come together. I would think they were gonna be the Offenders.
What the fuck did they think? What did they think? People would tune in? Like it's so off the wall, and I get it. It's cute. It's quirky.
And
Haha.
it was even more divorced from mainline MCU than the other stuff. Like this stuff was like
Jesus.
off to the side. They still don't talk about Hit Monkey. I'm like, ain't nothing wrong with that show, ain't nothing wrong with that character. Marvel would not bring his ass up. Back in we did that already. So I know Red Hulk, Baron Mordo, I get. I didn't know Terrax had a tie to Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
I always literally saw him, like he would just like pop up in things as like the fake Dark Side.
No, he's a fucking herald. He was a
Yeah.
Galactus herald. Yeah. I've seen
After
him as
Norrin, I guess, right? Because that's what he says.
yeah.
Like, I'll just kill you before you even get it, and I'll just be the best one or whatever.
I don't even remember what it is that Surfer does to Galactus. I think he
Isn't it
prevents
the
him
isn't
from.
the Fantastic Four stuff?
Is it? No,
That's what I
because
thought.
It
I
might have
feel
been
like he
another
stops
time
working.
because the
Doesn't he stop working for them after that?
no, because the first time they convinced Galactus to go, and it's not like Silver Surfer turns on him.
Oh, I thought that was like the inciting sort
No,
of
no,
like,
there's he
because
comes
he
back.
turns on him in like the movie.
Yeah. Oh no, no, that's no. We don't talk about that, George. Come on.
Look, if I don't know, they need to start informing people about Terrax. Is all I'm saying here.
He's
'Cause
got a few heralds. He's got Terrax. He's got Frankie Nova, the girl on fire. Fuck, obviously Surfer, but
yeah,
those are the three that come to the top of my head
and
right now.
Shala Ball eventually,
Oh
right?
yeah, I guess it was like one thing in Earth X. Oh my god, that's all I heard.
Oh wow, we didn't even get a look at Shala Ball in the trailer.
No, he didn't, not yet. But
She's still popping
that
up.
would have been a lot to give. Like she's a girl surfer, and like then they would have spent the whole discourse like
I want
she's a
I, wa-
girl
I wonder
surfer
if they let
titties.
I wonder if they let Frank Cho design the.
They should. I want to see what the so. What she's
Oh
supposed to
my
be naked.
God. You already know that's what Kim Kardashian is gonna be for Halloween.
Silver Surfer skims. These are skims.
Just a spray paint. Okay, so the defenders and the offenders, handpicked champions of the Grandmaster and
Oh,
the Collector themselves.
what
Go
they
ahead.
did give I was gonna say don't skip over how you they fucking gave Hulk his Bruce brain back
And clothes.
and clothes for Ed
That
McGuinness.
the clothes were to me were like that was the sign that he is civilized. Look at this shirt. Can't you
they
see? He is a man who thinks now.
I think this whole thing is an excuse to get Ed to draw the people he wanted to draw
I can
here,
dig it.
like
I can dig it.
in the way he wanted to draw them.
So those guys end up being scattered across time and space for their battles, with their cosmic benefactors watching from Death Valley. So Red Hulk and Hulk fight in Atlantis. With Bruce Banner in control, Hulk tries to reason with Red Hulk, arguing that the defenders fight for love, while the offenders fight for revenge. Red Hulk refuses to listen, seeing Banner as much as seeing Banner as much of a threat as Hulk. Their battle crashes into the Atlantis Royal Throne Room. Then we have Silver Surfer and Terrax fighting in the Microverse. Realizing that he's fighting an earlier version of the Surfer, Terrax plots to kill him, hoping that this will accelerate his own ascension as Galactus' herald. Submariner and Tiger Shark fight in the Dark Dimension. I have no idea who Tiger Shark is, and he just is a man with adamantium teeth, apparently.
I don't think he always had adamantium teeth, but it's I've only ever seen him in like bits. He's made like cameos. I've
Right.
never like read him against Namor straight up.
Is he like
Yeah.
Tarantula? Like he's just one of those ones in like a big group of villains?
That's how I've seen him in one of those big group of villains as cannon fodder. He's probably dead if you look him up. I'm sure they've killed him.
Also, Namor, when you're fighting somebody with adamantium teeth, don't expose your neck because I feel like your neck was like all out there, bro. And he's like,
It's like
oh my God, he bit me. And I'm like,
right
bro,
here.
did you not see it? Did you not see him when he introduced himself? I don't know. I'm quick to be like, that person bites. I can tell that person bites, so we're keeping a healthy
They're
distance.
all sharp. All your teeth are not
Yes,
supposed to be
yeah.
sharp.
No. Oh, he probably still has his baby teeth. Yeah. Overpowered. Namor is bitten in the neck. Doctor Strange versus Baron Mordo in Zen La. A battle of mystics erupts on the Surfer's homeworld. The cosmic duel takes a turn as outside forces intervene. I found everything from this moment on is hilarious. Because at first I'm like, okay, so this is like a battle of wills. You know, we have these guys and it's 4 one-on-one matches. We're about to get interference. We're about to get new entries. Here comes a new challenger. All kinds of shit's about to go down. Because Hulk demands to know Red Hulk's identity, but instead he's impaled with Namor's trident. But an impatient Galactus ends up stunning Strange and Mordo, demanding that Surfer return because he's like, yo, y'all late. So they're dealing with Galactus over there. In the Dark Dimension, Dormammu pops up and he's like, yeah, y'all better take me to Earth. And then in the Microverse, Psycho Man pops up and he bombards Terrax and Surfer with fear, seeking passage to Earth. I get classics. They need to give this man another I feel this man needs an update, bro. Maybe just the
Who's
box. Maybe just the control box.
he came with fear, doubt, hate on a box. Hey, Jack Kirby, man, don't fuck with the classics. Don't touch them.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
came with the
yeah.
whole Jack Kirby design. Like he did. That's the funniest shit. Like Ed McGuinness just wanted to draw a Jack Kirby design,
Yeah.
and he just did. They didn't update it. They didn't do anything to it. He's
I don't
like,
think anyone ever bats an eye if you say, "What about Psycho Man?" Like no one's ever gonna tell you no. Like, no, we're using him for bigger stuff. It's like nah. Um,
actually, the next summer event that's coming up, that's our big A villain, the Psycho Man.
he is he's also the person that they kill in Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. He's the first guy that gets got, which let me know that he was a little person. So he's always a little person inside that big body.
Yeah, look at this shit. Also, who was first, him or the Psycho Pirate? Because they seem to have the same power.
Oh yeah, emotions and stuff. I wonder. Psycho Pirate does he debut in Crisis?
No, no, he had been around. He's just like a run of the mill villain, though. I don't think he had like the power. Like, well, he had the Psycho Pirate powers. He didn't have the, I know, I remember the multiverse
It's saying the first appearance might be 1944.
for the
Uh,
Psycho Pirate.
yeah, Charles Hadstead
Jeez,
in All Star Comics number 23.
that's crazy.
Or
DC.
the next one would be 1965, Roger Hayden. I don't know if that's the. I feel like Roger Hayden is the one that we know more of. That's probably the one we're looking for.
Yeah,
65. So now Psycho Man, and again, that's just a terrible name.
Psycho
Psycho
Man
Man.
is an Eternals thing, right?
Psycho Man. Ooh,
60s.
2 years later. First appeared in Fantastic Four Annual number 5, created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby.
Yes, sir. Yes,
He
sir.
governs a microscopic system of worlds. That's his jam. We just
It's
went to the
just
damn the Quantum Mania. Why his ass wasn't there?
the microverse,
Teeny
the,
verse.
the babyverse,
The baby verse
weeniverse.
inside the teeny verse inside the weenie verse.
Yeah.
So what were you thinking when all these third characters started showing up?
I thought, oh shit, it's about to go down, and then this Hulk is dead thing. I was like, well, that's gotta be, um, that's gotta be bullshit. But
I was
he's really dead.
I just got the Epic Collection for Dark Phoenix, and I was Dark Phoenix Saga, and I was like thumbing through it, and there's a part that I remember when I first read it. I was like, "What the hell?" Where like they cover Cyclops' head in like a helmet or whatever, like he can't breathe out of it, and he just like passes out, and Nightcrawler is like mein Freud, Cyclops is dead, and like the next page is like, I thought Cyclops was dead, but he's just fucking pieces fine. Whatever. And I'm like, comics, man. They had to sell it on every page, especially those covers. This is the one where he dies. No, not
No,
really.
he does not die. But no, but Hulk in this moment where he's stabbed with the trident, and Red Hulk brings him to the Grandmaster and the Collector. I imagine he would just get up, afterwards. But
Yeah,
he's dead. He's really dead.
he
That's
got
that
got.
was that shouldn't work that way.
Um, with Hulk defeated, the elders return Red Hulk to the battlefield. And they're like, yeah, you know what? You can go help other people if you want. The fight's still going on and stuff. So he's like, oh, yeah, I'm down. So he goes over, he obliterates Psycho Man. He takes Terex's cosmic axe. He decapitates Terex, turns on the Silver Surfer, drains him of the power cosmic, takes the. So he has, as
Breaks his neck.
if you're watching live, as shown behind John, he has Terex's axe, the Silver Surfer's power, and his board, and he's just like rampaging through across the dimensions. Even though he just like helped his team win in these regards, he now goes to the Dark Dimension. He disintegrates Tiger Shark. He decapitates Namor. He destroys both Doctor Strange and Baron Mordo while they're talking to Galactus, and then he drags the lifeless Silver Surfer to Galactus, taunting him the entire time. Um, However, Red Hulk overlooked a fatal flaw. His newfound power belonged to Galactus. The, so the Devour World's like, yeah, about that. So he reobserves the cosmic energy, gaining full awareness of the events and declaring his intent to destroy Earth alongside the Grandmaster and Collector.
This was a fun moment because he finally, like, of all the, like, he has been on a rampage. Now he was destroying like a contest of champions. Like he wasn't
Mm-hmm.
even letting one of these Marvel things happen. And
Right.
like he finally runs into a wall
It
where
goes
he's
back to you
like,
were saying about him literally breaking all the rules of the universe. Like all
yeah.
the things he's grabbing and doing are like sacred. Or he just grabbed it. Oh, he just has the power cosmic. Does he? He just climbed on the Silver Surfer's board. Does he? And it's like you can't say anything because they're informing you about this character. So yeah, he did. He totally did.
And so he finally comes up against his wall and he's like, yeah, I punched out a watcher. Like, come
Yeah,
on, what the fuck? And he's like, I'm not a watcher.
yeah,
Like, what are you talking about? I'm Galactus. Holy shit. I'm gonna shove this shit right up your ass. And yes, he does.
yes, he
Instantly,
does.
immediately.
Faced with impending doom, the Grandmaster abruptly ends the contest. He's like, screw this. He revives the defenders and erases the memories of the offenders before returning them to their respective timelines. Furious at the cheated victory, I was kind of, I thought he got cheated. I mean, he tried to play by the rules as as intended, but it was all a game meant for nothing, I guess. So it doesn't really matter. Furious at being cheated of his victory, Red Hulk murders the Grandmaster. Before more destruction could unfold, Hulk punches Red Hulk into the distance. Turning to the Collector, he demands the return of Jarella per the rules of the game. The Collector complied, but cruelly, he only returned her lifeless body because that's what these elders do.
I guess because he wasn't the one who made the promise in the first place. But what a dick.
Sore loser. Um,
Yeah. He broke
overcome,
Hulk.
overcoming with grief, Hulk wished for everyone to leave him alone. The Collector obliged, erasing all memories of the battle from the surviving heroes and departing with the Grandmaster's body.
It's it's those parting words from Red Hulk that kind of leave you one more hint as to who he could be. Where he's like, I started this game hoping for your death. Well,
Mm-hmm.
first and then he's like, I realize now I left you off even worse than dead with a broken heart, just as you left me, Banner.
Yeah.
Uh,
So it might be
yeah,
Betty.
yeah, cause she dead.
Right, right, right. Um, so the dust settles and Red Hulk returns, and like you said, he witnesses Hulk's sorrow and kind of revels in his pain. And that's kind of where this first part of our two-part Hulk series ends. We got to see, like, if these elders did not pull the plug, we kind of got to see what the full range of this Hulk could be. We've seen that the Green Hulk has issues messing with it. We see that an entire group of liberators have issues. We see that even the Collector and the Grandmaster, Uatu, like they did a really good job in these 12 issues, showing us that anyone that we could imagine could come into this fight and just end this threat is not somebody that's seemingly on Red Hulk's level.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like that we learned all the way up to his limit. Like
Yeah,
we literally saw it all the way up to like the tippy top, and then it was like, okay, well, I can't pass this wall. That's how strong the Red Hulk is. Uh, Still not stronger than the Green one, but
no. Do you perceive do you like this half of the story better than the first or the second?
uh,
The one we'll cover next week.
no, I mean, I almost think it's never gonna be as good as it was, for those first few issues where Red Hulk was just running through like just fighting every single person in the Marvel universe that comes in front of him.
Yeah,
That's like legendary shit. After this, we start getting the World War Hulk stuff. I mean Hulks,
yeah.
don't
World War
we?
Hulks. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
What do you think overall about Marvel's decision to include Red Hulk in the MCU? Given that I would perceive that Hulk is probably the least fleshed out character for Paramount
I think
reasons.
of all the things that have been fleshed out with the Hulk, it's the relationship between Thunderbolt Ross and Bruce Banner that could have given you this Red Hulk thing. The problem is that this is not a Hulk movie.
Yeah,
Where's Bruce?
yeah.
The rumor is that he's in this movie, or he was. Who knows? now that
Oh
everything.
yeah, I remember that he kind of like let the cat out of the bag, but then they might have
Yeah,
thrown that bag in the river.
yeah. I mean, they chop the shit up and they cut things out and they move this and they move that. But I just think a Red Hulk in the a Red Hulk in the MCU is cool. That's nice. Red Hulk in the MCU and a Captain America movie that has nothing to do with the Hulk. We won't get any of these beats. Uh, okay, well, that's a little less interesting.
Is this like a Venom situation where he's cool in opposition to the main hero, but then when you kind of have him as a character, he kind of blends in with everybody else?
Well,
'Cause I know
he's
eventually he joins the
uh,
Thunderbolts,
the
right?
Thunderbolts. Then you get that, but like they're not gonna have any of that. Like what
No,
the
no,
fuck?
no, no. Yeah, yeah, very
I
strange.
hate this. No.
I'm trying, because they literally just brought him back. What, right? They literally just brought the Red Hulk back. Red Hulk number
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
I know you're getting that Frank Miller cover
Oh yeah.
variant.
Oh, of course, of course. You need it. You need it on your shelf.
I guess I just wonder how much runway there is for a character like this. I feel like a lot of this was wrapped up in the mystery. So once you explore that,
I mean, I guess the thing with the Red Hulk is like because he's Thunderbolt Ross, you can always do like
Rouse.
Ross, the military connection and stories, and like he can lead like monster teams or like villain teams, or he can join the Avengers, and that'll be like a big shock. Like, oh, Thunderbolt Ross, the Red Hulk is on the Avengers. I think there's a lot of things you can do with Red Hulk and Thunderbolt Ross. Uh, uh, but movie wise, I'm just like we're already off on a bad fucking start for me. Like we're off on the wrong foot. This is fucking
I
wrong.
I feel like it does. I feel like it almost doesn't make sense for Ross to live at the end of that.
He dies. They can't. They're
Yeah.
not. Harrison Ford did not. Harrison Ford did not
Sign a 10-year
sign
deal.
a fucking. He did not.
a
He
10
did
a
not.
10-year 20 picture.
It probably says in the contract he has to die.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, but
As you know,
yeah,
Mr. Ford only has one requirement for him to sign this contract. You must
kill
confirm
him.
that his character will die. We call
And
it
then
the Han Solo clause.
so he's gonna die without having that full fucking arc. That's bro. That's horrible.
At
Yeah.
least bring what's her face back. Liv
But
Tyler.
I was gonna say Jennifer.
Which one is it? Is it Connolly?
Is
One
it?
of those is Eric Bana's uh girl. I want to say Connolly is Eric Bana's. God, I
Bring them both back.
yeah. And get Frank Cho on board.
Do we get the red? Do we? Is Red She Hulk coming? Is that in this?
That's Betty, isn't it?
Yeah, but like, is that in this? Is that in what's the second half?
Maybe World War Hulks.
I thought we had Red She Hulk by World War Hulk. So I hope that's just the very next thing that happens in like issue 13 or whatever.
Uh, so, uh,
Uh,
so no, yeah. Liv Tyler is in the Incredible Hulk,
okay.
and then Jennifer Connelly is in
The
Hulk.
Hulk.
2003's gang gang. Well, well, well. Well, that was a hell of a time here. I liked, like I said, covering this stuff. Jeph Loeb, can't go wrong. Ed McGuinness killing it on art. Really, really funny stuff. A lot of lighthearted stuff considering all the stuff we've been covering lately. So it was definitely a fun little divergence. I think in tackling a story like this, it's setting up my expectations perfectly for the film. Because if the film even has a modicum of depth to it, I was like, oh, they took this kind of punchy story and they gave it a little bit of gravitas to it. But there's only one way to find out, and that's by tuning into the next episode of the Major Issues Podcast, where we'll be finishing up this by covering issues 13 to 24. Boom, boom, boom. But yeah, it's a special time here. We got Captain America right around the corner, Daredevil right around the corner. We just got a trailer for Fantastic Four, which will be dropping this summer alongside Superman. The Absolute and Ultimate Universes are on fire at the moment. Indie comics are on fire at the moment. It's an embarrassment of riches over here as part of the Major Issues Podcast. So you guys got to make sure that you're following us wherever we are. That's officially at comicbookclique.com, but the Major Issues podcast is available wherever podcasts are found. That's Podbean, Stitcher, Podcast Addict, the Apple Podcast app, TuneFind, YouTube, Spotify, and more. Just Google Major Issues Podcast and we'll be the first ones to pop right up. But we have more content than just the Major Issues podcast. We have You Should Be Reading, which we drop once a week, which is our way of giving you guys recommendations of what series you guys should be checking out that might have flown a little bit underneath the radar. We have Major Previews, a video series where we go through the solicitations for each month and pick out which issues we think are going to be the hot issues that you're going to want to collect, you're going to want to read, you're going to want to get on top of. That drops once every month. We got Alex Garcia, aka the Cog. He does his weekly haul videos where he shows the comic books that he's been picking up from comic book shops and explaining what his picks are about. But yeah, we are branching out in all kinds of directions as part of Comic Book Clique. It's a new era for us, and I'm super excited for you guys to see all the kind of cool stuff that we have cooking up. But the only way to do so is to follow us all over social media, facebook.com/comicbookclique, Instagram at comicbookclique, or use that hashtag comicbookclique to talk about the newest, hottest, latest, and greatest things to come to comic books and comic book media. We're at Major Issue CBC on Twitter, but we're also at Major Issue CBC on Twitch. As soon as I stop being embarrassing in Marvel Rivals, I will get back on that Twitch train. As soon as I get good at this stuff. But yeah, we do everything over here as a labor of love, and we do this for we do this out of love, we do this out of passion. But if you want to throw a couple schmeckles our way, consider going to comicbookclique.com and hitting the shop CBC link. It'll take you to our TeePublic store where everything is designed by us, but we're also looking for alternative merchandising options. So be on the lookout for that soon as we announce some new changes to the website coming on the CBC end as far as ways you guys can purchase more CBC branded merchandise and different stuff, not just t-shirts. It's going to be really, really cool. We're looking into different options there. But if you want to give us money without really getting anything physically, you can go to patreon.com/CBC Clubhouse, and for as little as 10 cents a day, $3 a month, you can help us keep our lights on here and afford the hardware and the software that we need to keep providing you guys this content free of charge. We used to just do one thing a week. Now we're up to like 3 or 4, and we're having a blast doing it. But if you can pay it, buy a cup of coffee, a beer, a sandwich for us, it helps so much when we get into these long recording sessions, editing sessions, all that kind of stuff. We do it for you guys, so any support back is appreciated. But taxes around the corner, Christmas just happened, Valentine's Day is coming up, so maybe you guys don't have money. Consider then rating and reviewing this podcast on iTunes. It's the quickest way for us to grow as podcasters and find out what you like, what you don't. Recommended podcast, 5-star podcasts get recommended to more people. So that's the best way you could do word of mouth besides telling a friend to tell a friend. You on a road trip? Throw on the Major Issues podcast. You're doing some jogging? Throw on the Major Issues podcast. Your grandma doesn't know how to work her phone? Put the Major Issues podcast on it and just put it on loop. Don't worry, she needs someone to talk to anyway. And come on, I can think of worse people than us. So consider all that stuff. Consider supporting us across the board. But the cool thing about it is, while the party sometimes stops rocking over at CBC, it's never stops rocking at comicbookclique.com, because we share comicbookclique.com with the best roommates in the world, DirtSheet Radio, the industry leaders in all things professional wrestling and pop culture. Those guys are killing the game with live reactions to daily wrestling events, pay-per-views, PLEs, and more. I always say, go to DirtSheet Radio, turn on the DirtSheet Radio. There's always something on. But if you'd like to tell the people more, go ahead, John.
There's nothing left to say. Follow DirtSheet Radio. We're live 8 times a week at least, and that's not counting Major Issues and the Otaku Talk Show. Listen, DirtSheet Radio, we're changing the game. Join us, follow us, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Just search Dirt Sheet Radio. I'll be there waiting for you.
Yeah. Only a slightly few people, but definitely you included, Yogi, know that this is going to be an incredible year for both DirtSheet Radio and Comic Book Clique. So all I can say, guys, is get on the bandwagon before the bandwagon gets full, because it will get full, and then we can't hear you in the back. So if you come up, and sit with us as we head to the future, because it's going to be a terrific and exciting one. But I think that's all I got here. Like I said, I've been to the future where we do become the latest and greatest things to come to comic media, but I can't tell you how we do it, because next thing you know, they do Red 1, 2, Red 2, Red 2, 1.
Red ones.
Red. Oh, they would do red ones. They would do red ones, and no, it's all CGI doing the Rock Johnsons, and nobody wants that to happen. Or he just shows up at the end of red ones. He's not in the entire film. He just shows up at the end and puts up 3.
Like
He puts up 3, and that's just for us to know the trilogy's coming. Yeah, he throw his finger across the throat, put up the 3, and that's how we know.
See you in 6
yeah,
months.
yeah. The Red One. That's the third film, The Red One. But yeah, and we'll be talking about The Red One next week when we finish up this whole Red Hulk adventure that we're on. But that'll be all I have for this episode. There's nothing else left to say, but my name is George Serrano, aka The Don.
And this is John Escudero, aka Yogi.
And this has been our recap and review of 2008's Hulk by Jeph Loeb, issues 1 through 12. And remember, whether you're an A-bomb, an Abomination, a Hulk, a Rolk, the smartest there is, incredible, or just like those cheesecake pictures, remember that we are the Clique, and always remember that you, yes, you, are worthy.